This video I will be commenting and talking about the video How Far. It's a short film. It's a very short film. It is the shortest of short films. It is only about 39 seconds long, so it's tiny. It's very small, but I am very impressed by the way they've conveyed this kind of strong message and an actual kind of narrative, or very slight narrative, in these very few little seconds that it's the length of it. The quality of the video is very poor. It's exceptionally pixelated and blurry, and the lighting is awful, but I think that's just the version that I'm watching. I've had a little look to see if I can find another version of it, but this is the one I'm watching, and it's awful, so I can't really comment too much on the kind of like the lighting and editing, because it really is just awful. I think it's just the version I'm watching though, so I can't draw anything from that or make a comment on it really, because it would probably be unfair. The story is essentially this man who is being very racist to this black man. He's saying lots of awful things to him. It's all in Italian, I think, but there's subtitles, because a black man bumps into him and he starts like kind of shouting at him like, oh, go back to Africa, all this, and then whilst mid-rant he gets hit by a car. And the next shot is of him in hospital, being woken up by an Indian doctor who's obviously saved this man's life. He's obviously in an awful way, like head bandages on, lying in his hospital bed, like see all this equipment around him. He's obviously in an awful way, and this Indian man saved him. And the message is, how far does your racism go? When the man's kind of shouting at this black man, he's very loud and rude, and the camera kind of cuts to shots of people's reactions at him, like they're looking shocked and horrified and disgusted by this man's kind of language and behaviour towards this black man. So we definitely know that the man's behaviour is kind of isolated, and he has the minority kind of opinion in that situation, which alienates us from him. We don't like him in the slightest. He's very rude. Definitely don't like him in the slightest. The ending is unexpected though. It happens all of a sudden. It's quite like a shocking. There's impact obviously when the car impacts him, but we don't see it coming. It's very shocking and quick. It does kind of a powerful message towards the end with this Indian man saving his life, but I think it's also something people can relate to slightly, maybe, or not relate to, but kind of understand with the how far does your racism go. It's very clever in the way that any kind of person who maybe is racist would they actually turn down the life-saving help of like the Indian doctor, obviously if it was saving their life. I don't know, it gives a different perspective on it, and I think something that can be reflected on. This is very rambly, but I know what I mean. Like, I think Izzy and I can draw from this on exploring how far do people's discrimination go, even like everyday life, like people that wouldn't consider themselves maybe discriminative or racist, not necessarily racially, but even towards like what I've explored before, like homelessness and kind of other minorities, like even homosexuality, things like this. How far does the discrimination go? Even if you don't consider yourself to be discriminative, are you, without realising, like we've explored before, like the subtle like discriminations, like when you see a homeless person, you walk by without even looking at them, things like that, really subtle ones that you don't even think of yourself doing. Like, how far does your discrimination go? If this makes sense, which I hope it does, I know what I mean. But this was very interesting, even though it was awful quality, and it was in Italian, and it's a little bit rude, but I thought I'm going to go for it. Thank you very much.